much for having me. It's an honor and privilege to be on your event. Thank you so much. Let me get started. So thank you so much for having us on your program. So I would like to introduce our company, which is JustPayto. I think we're a relatively new player in the industry. We started the company about 4 years ago, but we effectively turned on the system January last year. Fortunately, it was right in time for COVID because of the pandemic, there was a big need for our product and our service. And so we're very fortunate to get it up and running just in time before lockdown. So what exactly do we do? So when you asked me to present what we were doing and how we added value, I thought of first presenting what we do, how we added value to our customers, and also more importantly, how we added value to our co-peers in the industry, namely the banks and also the other wallets who are our peers in the industry. So we are a payment platform which is regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. We operate as an OPS. We're PCI DSS certified, and we're also registered with under the AMLAC. So what exactly do we do? So basically what we do is we create payment portals or payment pages, as we call them, for any business of any size to accept payments easily through a payment address. So what do they mean by that? So this is, so for example, I'm going to use you as example. So you signed up last week with us. So currently right now you have your URL is JustPayto Asia CEO and your settlement bank is BPI. So it simply means that anyone, you particular, can receive payments through your URL without needing to give your bank account. And the beauty about this is you can now accept all forms of payment, credit card, debit card, GCash, PayMaya, over the counter to our partners, GrabPay, and money gets remitted into your settlement account, which is BPI. Again, instead of having to give your account details to your customers, you just have to tell them to go to JustPayto Asia CEO. We try to make it as easy for both you and for your customers to make a payment. So I think being the newest one of the newer ones in the group, so I'm going to show you some of our partners. So I mentioned that we're used by companies of all sizes. These range from big companies, just Meralco, Globe, Smart. So again, if you want to pay your bills, instead of you having to download any app, we're not app-based. You could now simply make payments through JustPayto Meralco, JustPayto Globe, JustPayto PLD, JustPayto Smart. The beauty about this also is that if you have parents or family who's abroad and you would like to pay for your bills, they don't have to remit money. They could simply just go to it works with any desktop, it works with any mobile device, JustPayto Meralco, and they could make a payment simply by putting the reference number and their card details. It works with debit, any Visa or MasterCard would do. So it's globally accepted. As we all know, we're also as of last year, I think the trend of the government was to go cashless in transportation in the RFIDs. So we also partnered with AutoSweep, EasyTrip, and Beep cards, so that motorists could now actually load their RFIDs through our system. Again, it's not app-based. They simply just go to JustPayto EasyTrip RFID. It's so easy to memorize and put in their account details, account number, select a payment method, and make the payment, and automatically their RFID gets loaded. We're used by several SMEs. Just to give you some examples, we're used by large corporations, chain brands like Fridays. We're used by smaller groups like Mighty Cafe. These are SMEs that signed up to use our system. We're used by brands, and we're also used by fellow tech companies such as Aid, who does medical professional services for their consumers. We're also used by donation groups, so JustPayto Red Cross, JustPayto Gawad Kalinga, KN Movement, and Action Against Hunger. So again, the beauty about the system is that instead of Red Cross having to give you their account details, they just say, you want to make a payment, go to JustPayto Red Cross. It accepts. It's easy to memorize, easy to remember, easy to recall. The donors go to JustPayto Red Cross. It's accessible worldwide, and they can now receive payments from donations rather, from anyone in the world in real time. Again, like the others, this donation accepts all forms of donation payments: credit card, debit card, GCash, PayMaya, over-the-counter payments, GrabPay as well. So we want to be the most complete in terms of sources of fund. So for our SMEs, instead of them having to establish that relationship with each payment provider, they sign up with us and pretty much everything is already embedded into the system. We're also used by professionals. Again, just some more examples of users of our system. So this is perfect for receiving payments for events, for tickets. We're used by several doctors, especially right now during the pandemic. There are a lot of online consultations. So several doctors are using our system to receive payments so that their patients don't need to do bank transfers, and they could accept no credit card payments online. Again, the beauty of our system is that prior to us, they were using other payment solutions, but through our system, the payment goes directly into their nominated settlement bank account. Could be a bank and could be a wallet of their choice. I'll explain that later in more detail. So what is JustPayto? It's we cater to individuals, SMEs, and enterprises of all sizes through what we call a payment address. This payment address is something that is fixed. It is something that is permanently with them, and it's something that they could just easily tell their clients or customers, and to get that's how they get paid. So let me talk right now how we add value to businesses, especially during the pandemic. So as we know, from March to May was the lockdown. There was no revenue for customers. There was high cost, and it was very uncertain. So again, we were very fortunate to be up and running before this pandemic. From June onwards, that was the start when the company started opening up the restaurants, and economy started slowly opening up. So we spoke to a lot of these merchants who were using our system, and we asked them exactly what they needed. So these restaurants, these merchants, these retailers also had to modify their business. Similar with us, even though we are the quote unquote, we're now a demand, we still had to modify our business to add value to serve our customers in the best way possible. So what do I mean by that? I'll give an example. Usually, like restaurants like these, for example, they needed, for them to receive payments, it was very cumbersome. They could only receive either GCash, and it was a direct, they had to do bank-to-bank transfer, and they had to book a delivery service to actually fulfill those orders. So again, in our end, our core business is payments, but we modified our system to include also delivery and a fulfillment service. So the difference of us, so instead of Roast Italian Bistro having to give their complicated instructions to make an order, they'll simply tell their customers, go to JustPayto Roast Italian, and there's a delivery component embedded into it. So we also modified our business to add features to best serve our users and our customers. So this is how it looks like. So this is an example of an existing customer user of ours. They're a restaurant in BGC. So in our system, there's a delivery function embedded into the system. And the beauty about this is that it's free. Customers pay for delivery charges, and we don't charge a percentage of sales. So unlike the current setup right now, we asked them what is the biggest pain point, and they said that it was very expensive to hire the current systems out there. So we decided to help them by giving pretty much this feature for free. Another problem that was in the market was that the contact room services. As you know, if you go to a restaurant, the waiter gives you a menu, you order, the food is brought to the table, and you pay using your cash or card. And the chances of you getting contaminated because of contact is very high. So given this, we thought of also innovating the market to add value into both our product and to our merchant services. So what we did is we created a QR code for all of our merchants that they could simply scan, so that their customers can sit down in a restaurant, scan the QR code, which is in their table. Again, this is not app-based, so they don't have to download any app or top up any wallet to use our system. They scan the QR code, it redirects them to the menu of that restaurant. Food is brought to the table and consumed, and they could pay using JustPayto. So even on our end, we evolved our system to actually accommodate the needs and wants of our current merchants. Now, because we realized also that we also had the menu ready incorporated in the system, what we did right now also is we also made it available online with delivery. So our core business is actually payments, but given the need of our merchants, we innovated to actually better serve them properly. So even on our end, we also had to modify and we had to evolve our business. So another problem we were faced, that they faced, was multiple payment options and managing all these payment providers. Instead of a merchant establishing the relationship between GCash and Paymaya and all the other payment options, they get a JustPayto account, and pretty much everything is there, and it's easy to manage in one dashboard. So Another thing I wanted to show is that how we added value to our partners in the industry. We thought of, when we started the business, we believe that collaboration and not competition is the way to move forward. We specifically said that we didn't want to be an app, we didn't want to be a digital bank, and we didn't want to be a wallet for the mere purpose of partnering with all the digital banks and all the wallets in the market out there today. So what do I mean by that? So if you notice, I'm showing you again some of the users of our system: FinTech PH, EasyTrip RFID, MyCafe, and Red Cross. If you notice at the bottom right of their page, you will actually see what settlement bank they are using. I'm going to give an example. So for FinTech PH, they're using Union Bank. For EasyTrip, they're with BDO. For MyCafe, it's GCash. And for Red Cross, it's Metrobank. That simply means if I make a donation or if I make a payment to any of these companies, those are the banks that we deposit the money to. But simply speaking, the more ways to get paid, the more users, the more deposits to the banks and wallets. So we don't see ourselves as a competition to the banks and the wallets. Rather, we see ourselves as a partner because one, we're basically a cash-in solution for the banks or wallets. So business accounts of the banks and the wallets can now sign up with us. And once they use us, we actually deposit the money into the bank as opposed to take money out of the bank. Same also as PayMaya and GCash. If this company signed up with their GCash account, so if I make a payment to JustPayto MyCafe, we credit the GCash account. So we are a cash-in solution for the GCash account. On the other end of the spectrum, we're also indirectly merchant acquiring for GCash and PayMaya. So what do I mean by that? So if we have 10,000 users, all those 10,000 users can now receive GCash and PayMaya payments, GrabPay payments. So we're adding more value to them by adding the potential for more transactions for their systems. So hopefully we're not seen as a competition, but rather for both ends, we do merchant acquiring for both GCash, PayMaya, and UBX also as our over-the-counter payment. So these are some of our milestones. Again, we started 2015. We started as a prototype, but we effectively turned on the system early last year. So fortunately, we were just in time for lockdown. From early 2020 to December right now, we've closed a couple of key accounts. I think our latest one was Petron. And we look forward to more partners in the future. So if you get started, please contact us at hello@justpayto, and we'll be very happy to accommodate your accounts.